RockRose Energy was, until this weekend, a compelling investment from my perspective, and I'd put approximately 5% of my portfolio into the company. Given the news that has come out over the weekend where the company is considering taking the vehicle private, I have increased my position to towards probably nearly 7%. The reason I've done this is that if the company were to be taken private, it should be at a premium to the current share price. Somewhat surprisingly to myself, the share price has not really reacted to this news. Now, I would suggest that that means that you can purchase the shares at the same price as they were last week. And if it's true, then I would expect there to be at least a sort of 10 or 20% uplift in the share price relatively quickly. Given this type of statement, the company really should put out a statement of its own, either denying or confirming this type of information, because it is market sensitive material, non-public information that's essentially been published, and I would expect that they need to make some kind of statement. The company's interims could be out this week. There should be an update on the Deas acquisition, which once that's completed, the company will should be on track to generate over $100 million of EBITDA for the year, and also should have approximately $60 million working capital adjustment in the group's favour. This is for a company with a market cap about 60 million quid. So from a trade point of view, if these rumours are unfounded, the share price hasn't moved in reaction to them. If they are correct, then I would expect the company to start generating some more interest. Why the shares didn't move more today, I don't really quite understand that. Perhaps people are waiting for the Deas acquisition or information on it. The company has previously stated that everything's progressing well, so there's no reason to assume that there's been any problems. I would have preferred it if the company had come out and given an update to the market as to what the new expected completion date is. However, I fully expect that they will make some announcement in their interim results about the acquisition, or potentially, ideally, they'll announce that it has in fact completed. And given those sort of range of things, so I believe the sort of business is fundamentally undervalued. There are people who are worried about decommissioning costs. I think that if you look at the amount of cash that this business is going to be generating, I don't really see that to be a huge problem. It's, let's say that from their EBITDA, if they're only, if it's sub 50% that they're generating as free cash, that's still $50 million a year. Of course, I'm not an expert on the decommissioning costs, but it seems likely to me that Andrew Austin, who owns over 20% of the company, is highly aligned with shareholders and motivated to make this vehicle a success. Another thing which made me quite positive on the buyout kind of rumours is that Malky on today's Vox Markets actually stated that there were a number of vehicles in the market that have offered to finance Andrew Austin taking RRE private. So that's leading further kind of credence and backing to this idea that people are seeing the vehicle as undervalued, and therefore I expect that in the next, I actually think the company has to make a statement actually, and if they may be trying to put it off because they are considering taking it private. Either way, whether it's tomorrow or in the interim results, they need to address these concerns. And when I say concerns, obviously they need to get the information out. Obviously, if you were looking to take the group private, you wouldn't want anybody to know about it, and I suspect they'd be not very pleased that information had essentially been leaked. So if nothing else, it'll be interesting to see what happens.